Well, hey, Journey family, Pastor Stephen here, and I wanted to talk to you today out of Exodus chapter 13. Exodus 13 is the point in the book of Exodus right after the people of God have left their 400 years of slavery. God has saved them. God has redeemed them. 10 plagues, miraculous plagues, and the Egyptians, Pharaoh just says, get out of Egypt, and gives them all this money, and they're in the wilderness, and they're now traveling with a cloud by day and fire by night. And there's a moment here in Exodus 13 that's very interesting. It's a moment where it says the bones of Joseph, verse 19, Moses took the bones of Joseph with him, for Joseph had made the sons of Israel solemnly swear, saying, God will surely visit you, and you shall carry my bones with you from here. And they moved on from Succoth and encamped at Etham at the edge of the wilderness. Now, why is this important? Well, I wanted to draw this out because Joseph, he's the guy with the coat of many colors. Joseph is the guy that gets sold into slavery by his brothers, and then he, through all the miraculous providential things in his life, becomes second in command in Egypt. Joseph then saves the people of Israel when there's a massive famine. He's second in command over Egypt. He orchestrates that Egypt has food and water, all the things that people are going to need, and where the Israelites would have died without Joseph's help. The Israelites come into Egypt, come into the land of Goshen, and they're saved. But then after Joseph dies, the Israelites get enslaved. And so when Joseph dies, Joseph has a prophetic vision from God where Joseph realizes his purpose is not to be an Egyptian. The purpose of God's people is not that they would become Egyptians, it's that they would make it to the promised land, that they would make it to the land of Canaan, this land that God promised them. And so Joseph says, hey, when I die, when you leave Egypt, meaning you're not supposed to stay in Egypt, it is not your home. The promised land is your home. So when you leave Egypt, take my bones with you, take them to the promised land. How does that apply to us? Well, I think it applies to us because we live in the United States of America. We live in this great country. We live in this incredible world. And it's very easy to think of this place as our home, to think of this great country, this great state, this great city. I live in the city of Madison. I love the city of Madison. I love Wisconsin. This is incredible. And it'd be very easy if I didn't have the hope of heaven, if I didn't set my hope to heaven every day. I'm going to be with God in heaven. It'd be very easy to say, all that I have to look forward to is what I can see with my eyes. But Joseph saw with the eyes of faith. And he said, when you leave, take my bones with you. So the questions for us today, I think, where's your longing for heaven today? Where's your longing for the promised land? Why do we take time every day to spend time with the Lord? It's to remember that as great as our country is, as great as our home is, as great as the world is around us, heaven is our home, which helps us not get wrapped up when things are really good, but it also helps us when things are really bad to say, this is not all that is in my life, and I don't need to hustle so hard and be fearful to try to change things. Now, work hard and change your station. You could do all of those things, but knowing that your ultimate hope is in heaven means I just have different hopes and dreams than anybody else. And I thought about this too. Even in death, Joseph refuses to be buried in Egypt to be identified as an Egyptian. So the final point about Joseph saying, take my bones to the land of Canaan as you leave, is Joseph's identity. His identity was so firmly rooted in who he was as a child of God. They said, wherever God's people go, that's where I want to go. And so watch, take time, just observe. Where's your identity today? Are you identifying with the kingdom of God? Are you identifying that you're a child of God? Are you identifying that you are consecrated to God? Or are you identifying more as an American? Are you identifying more as just as a man or as a woman, or whatever you're identifying as? Those are sub-identities. The ultimate identity is I'm a child of God. I'm part of the kingdom of God. And may his kingdom come and his will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And so let's really look at where our identity is today and be aware Those lesser identities aren't bad. It's just bad when those lesser identities become the ultimate identity, when God has made us in His image to be His children. You are greater in the eyes of the Lord than you are on your own. I love you, church. Have a great day.